Bless you.
Thank you.
We brought her to her.
That's what it sneezed.
Did you just see that?
Sneeze of the truth.
How with one question, it became about the client.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We bring it back to them to make it about them. It is not about the other person. If we want to get to the truth of the subconscious, there are different ways to practice. My way is not the only way. We have this beautiful poster here to remind us. There are not going to be all the time that you're going to want the client to have to look at themselves. There are times that you're just going to sit there and go, that sucks. That sucks and I'm sorry and here's a tissue. But that's going to determine where you practice from, what theory you practice from. I work from the subconscious theoretical perspectives, more Freudian, more psychoanalytic, where I want to get to the truth of what is there. She dislikes herself, she disrespects herself, she hurts herself because her parents are flirtatious, her parents are cheaters, and she doesn't like that part about herself. So, how does the person, this is my rendition of person in prison, how does the person put themselves in prison? The solution is the question or the problem, and the problem is the solution. What does she do to make sure that she doesn't become the cheater or the flirt that her parents are? What is she doing now? What is she sharing?
I let people take advantage of my goodness, and I always try to be the perfect girlfriend just because I don't want to let, I guess, me down my subconscious.
Okay, but let's talk now directly about your relationship. What is your boyfriend proposing? He's proposing marriage or motherhood. If you get married young and you become a mother young, well, that's going to be the solution to the problem, which is that you're a tremendous slut, flirtatious, that you love. I'm just being exaggerated. I'm just being exaggerated. You'll get to know me more. Okay?
But I have an issue. What about the commitment part? Because that's part of your issue. He's not willing to.
Didn't last class you say something about you wanted to be the perfect mom and have children, something like that? I'm trying to think exactly what you said, but it's not coming to mind.
That's the thing
Then you say
when
something
people
about
talk
children.
about marriage and having kids. I don't mind that.
Okay.
I will give up anything.
Okay, did you guys just hear what you just said?
Like I mentioned, guys, like I mentioned last
No, but
class,
what did-
when my boyfriend said, let's move to another city, let's move to another country, I was like, let's go. That's what I mean by give up everything.
Oh, okay, here's
Like
the
my
other thing we
family.
talked about, but you said that, and then when I asked you, are you willing to leave your mother or your parents,
Yeah.
you had a problem with that. Or you said you'd come back and visit or something.
Because that fell in the same category as her mom.
Okay,
Her
but
mom
that's
still lived
another
there.
problem.
Yeah,
That's another problem, and it might be layered.
Okay.
We
Right.
can't solve everything
no, not in
in one session.
No,
Okay,
no, right.
so we're talking about the boyfriend who wants her to commit. She doesn't like parts of herself because her parents are cheats. She doesn't like that part about herself. So, what you don't like about yourself, this is your problem, this is what's in your bad buckets. You find a solution that is socially acceptable. She wants to be a slut, she wants to fuck around, she wants to have sex 24/7, get married. Or be taken. Is that going to keep her from flirting?
Of course not.
Hell to the no. Since when? That's why cheaters exist. but the problem and the solution are always the same. That's why the questions reveal the problems. The client is trying to make a solution to the problem. The problem here has nothing to do with commitment. The problem has to do with she's young. Her grandmother, her aunts, her mother got married young. They had babies young. That was the way that they tried to tame their beast. They didn't, because they're all a bunch of flirts, and maybe they're all a bunch of divorced ladies.
No, they're not.
They're married, even better, flirting and looking, but staying
That's
married.
another thing. My mom is always
Socially
telling me,
acceptable.
"Grandma, oh, you're gonna die, and you only read one book. One book."
Tells that to
Why
her,
not?
Huh?
tells that to her mother,
To
Yeah.
her daughter.
My mom
No.
tells that to
To
her
her.
mom.
to her mom, to your
To your
grandmother.
mom, to your grandmother.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well,
So-
I don't have that problem, so I'm okay to get married now. I have no problem.
Okay, just because you physically had sex with more than one book or read more than one book, doesn't mean you met the need. What will it take to meet the connection need? You have a lack of connection, and it is rooted from the subconscious. What happened in conception that there was a connection issue between mom and dad? We can see that on the chart. What can you tell me about pregnancy? Did your mother feel connected to her pregnancy with you? You see how I'm asking questions, I'm planting seeds. In the birth, was there a problem? Was there a disconnect? Did the placenta, isn't there something called placenta previa or something like that? That the placenta actually disconnects from,
I was forced out.
okay, there was a forcing.
The cervix just separates from.
Okay, but there's a separation, and he or she said I was forced out. And 0 to 7, where were you separated from, let's say, mother or father, or the family or something? There has to be a story, because her unmet need is connection.
Well, you just said you hate your
Because
mom.
sex is
Yeah.
connection.
Why?
Oh, I caught that after.
I'm,
All I remember is that
Love is also connection. It's not on this poster, but remember, love is / connection. Her need is an unmet need of connection. I don't care how many books you read, my love. Until you solve that root issue, not solve it, accept it, become aware of it, maybe integrate it. Then what you will do is learn to accept yourself, love yourself as you are. That's all this is about. All we try to do is ask the right question so that the client can learn to accept themselves, not socially, anyway. This has nothing to do at the root of sex. This has to do with a connection need. And every single time that you try to get close, something has to come in and separate you. Can you tell me a time where you were separated from something that you really cared about?
easy. I
Perfect,
went
tell
to
me.
England.
When you went to England, what happened?
I got separated from my dad, which is my, my friends. My grandparents, which they also are my biggest part of my heart is to them. And then I had to live with my mom, which we've never, ever had a good relationship.
Okay. So do you see how the core here is a separation? And sex is the deepest connection you can have with someone, supposedly. What happened at the beginning of this class with the girls next door? Was that an accident? She came in and said, my boyfriend and I didn't have sex, and he asked me to be his girlfriend, but then we had sex 2 days later. You think that was an accident? Sex is a union. That is a metaphor. Language of the psyche. Right there. Myth, metaphor, symbol, ritual. Sex is a metaphor for connection. You cannot get closer to any other individual unless you're, and we're not talking about the act of penetration and fucking and oh my God. We're talking about the union. Because what does sex, how many people have heard of the term daddy issues? Oh, she's got daddy issues. Dating older men, usually sexually promiscuous.
Oh, shit.
But it's a separation. It's a connection need you have. You don't have anything wrong with you. You simply have an unmet need. And you're trying to satisfy it in a socially acceptable way. So rather than perhaps be a slut and fuck every guy that you meet, you might flirt. That's socially acceptable. I'm not doing anything, I just have a wandering eye. Okay. Or let me make the person my boyfriend or my husband, then it's socially acceptable. Is your connection need satisfied?
Well, all I know is that we were, I think it was like 3 months, I don't even know, I try not to count the days because then I go crazy, but I think it was like 3 months that we were separated until we started talking again on Sunday. That I would go out with some friends, guy friends, which when I say friends, they wanted to, and
But she has no friends.
guy friends, but well, they're
According
not
to the board.
They're not friends because a friend should be there whenever you need them, not just for sex. So all they want is sex, and it's like, no, I don't think so. So they stopped talking to me. They stopped because I wouldn't give it up. I'm like, I don't fuck what you want. I don't want to have sex with you, and the whole fuck buddy shit. Like, I don't fucking want that. Don't try to like offer it to me because I'm already telling you from point zero that I'm not that type of girl. Yes, I love sex. Fuck yeah, but I don't just, I call it,
I want a connection.
yeah, I don't give my gift just to anybody. You have to be someone special to me to give you my gift. Even though,
And
yeah,
that's
I'm a
absolutely
fucking flirtation
okay.
bitch, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna give you my gift just for free. The
You
fuck
want a
me.
connection. That's your
Yeah.
price. We all have a price. We didn't bring the prostitute archetype poster up yet. We all have a price. Usually the price is linked to an unmet need.
That's why I don't feel guilty that they're the books that I have read, because we
Connected.
had a relationship, like you said, the social status, we had it, so I didn't feel
Perfect.
guilty,
Perfect.
but
So what's the problem?
So then, if they're not
She's afraid of
friends,
connecting with
and
someone
they're
else.
not
She is
connecting,
the person that she
then
is
why are
with
you
or
talking?
was with or something.
Is that true? Are you afraid of having a connection that is not socially acceptable?
hell yeah.
Okay. So we have to work. We identify an issue.
It's just I don't want to, even if,
You don't want to what?
because I
Cheat.
want him to be the person.
Okay, but you
'Cause
said
I feel that
earlier
way.
that you wanted him to be the person, but he said, which is never he, it's her, he said that, oh, when you're older, you're gonna go clubbing because you're gonna realize what you missed out on. That's you speaking.
Well, he did say it to me, like, it's too good to be true. Like, you will change. He has this whole fear of people changing.
People change.
You know
In
how-
age appropriate, age and stage, we change.
But he means
And then there's
like,
parts of us that never change.
right,
so both
that's what
is
I've been
true.
telling him.
Both is true.
I might be more matured. might have different, I don't know, habits or whatever. But I'm still gonna be the same person. I'm still gonna give you quichitos, which is like that, right? I'm still gonna like do cosquillita to you because that's something that I do on a daily basis. Like that part of me is not gonna change because he has this fear of, oh well, the first year of a relationship is all love and cuddles and stuff, but then you're gonna change. I said, I can't fucking change when this is me. I am giving you my 100%
And you're a
me.
Cancer,
Yeah.
to boot. Okay, now we're getting into stuff that he has to go to therapy for.
Thank you.
So,
That's what I said.
So,
Thank you.
He
Well,
has his issues.
I also asked her if they would be willing to go to counseling as a couple, because there
That
are
would help.
obviously a lot of imbalances in the relationship.
yeah, premarital counseling. Are you in a hurry to get married?
I used to be, but not anymore, because now I'm focused in school and I wanna, before I have my kids, I wanna be someone
Is
in
he
the world.
in a rush to get married?
Hell no. No, he's okay. He's okay.
No problem.
Just like he wants to wait to have kids, I wanna wait to have kids. Although he says if it were for me, I would give you a kid right now, but you know, you still have to finish school, we still gotta, you know, be stable. He thinks that once you have money, you're able to, you know, he has this thing with money.
Protection need.
Yeah.
Money has to do with protection. And sex is too, second chakra. But we're talking about second and fourth chakra. What she wants is a connection with her mother.
Do I?
You don't consciously, but subconsciously you do. Why? Who does she have the wrong alliance with?
No, your dad. Your dad.
You have an alliance
You're
with your
taking
dad.
the place of your mother.
Exactly.
Who's the wrong alliance with? Is it father-child or is it mother-child?
Father, child.
Father-child. Who got kicked out?
Mother.
Mom. That means that you either put this person on a pedestal or you. This is the mother part of you, that I don't care how many kids you have, is never going to be solved unless you heal those roots. And it's also the feminine part of you, because your mother is the feminine part. Does not mean anything about gender orientation. We talked about that. Okay? This is the person you need the connection with. What happened as a child between you and your mother? Where did this disconnect in the 0 to 7? We already know that she was forced out of the womb. Tell me about the disconnect with your mother from 0 to 7.
I think it would be because my parents were together. So all I remember is my mom saying that every time she would get like dressed up pretty, mind you, she was like depressed, she had just gotten a divorce, she had a 2-year-old girl, you know, all by herself, whatever.
She
moved
got
back
a
with her
divorce from
parents.
whom?
My dad.
No, from 0 to 7, your parents got divorced?
Yeah,
And you lived with your mom?
yeah.
Okay, but what caused the separation between you and your mom? That you were upset that she divorced your dad and he wasn't around? Is
I mean,
it
I
anger?
know.
Is it bitterness? Is it jealousy? What comes up when you think about having a connection with your mom as a young child?
All I know is that she would always tell me how if people said, "Oh my God, you look so pretty today," I would say, "No, she doesn't," and she would, even though I knew she looked cute, I would say, "No, she doesn't." So I guess
How old were you?
2, 3 years.
And what were you hoping to accomplish with that?
I have no idea.
We're just-
I know that I should hate my dad, but I don't.
I should hate my dad.
And I wish I
Why?
wish I was more
Total
connected with my
judgment.
mom than my dad, but it's the other way around.
Why should you hate your dad?
Because he wasn't a good dad to me.
Because he had the bad behavior. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions that clients have. They think that the parent that behaved well is the one they should have the alliance with. That's why your real alliance was with your mom and you, but your father's on the pedestal, which is the exact same thing of having an alliance with your dad and having your mom kicked out.
So why is he your father the prince now?
Always.
He's always been a prince.
He's always been.
What
I
do you hate
just,
about your mom?
I don't know.
What don't you like about your mother? Can you tell us a situation where you felt disconnected from your mom, any age? Recent, when you were young, not okay.
I think that the biggest, like whenever I think about when you just asked me where did I feel the impact, oh shit, like I fucking hate this woman, I don't want to live with her, was when I moved to England and I caught her in lies, and I guess that really hurt me that I was so far away from my family, and she has me here and she's lying to my fucking face and she thinks that I'm not catching them just because I'm 12 years old.
So the behavior is lying.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to find the behavior that the client is judging about the parent. Remember, it's not about the parent, it's about themselves. You have a question?
Yeah, I was thinking about your case. You said when you moved to England it was because of your mother, and maybe that's the reason why you can't get along with her. You say you didn't want to move at all, right? Or did you?
I did want to move, but when I realized that I was going away from my grandparents and my dad at the airport when they were checking my passport, I broke down.
And I don't know if you remember, but how old you were when you had to move?
12.
And how was your relationship with your mother before you had to move?
Well, right before when
Like before the moving
Like
to
all
England?
together before Aileen came part of the
Yeah.
picture.
we were never, like I said, like since I was little, I was always like throwing negative comments
So you
towards her.
also had distance from your mom even before the move.
She
Yeah.
never had a real.
You never really had a relationship with her.
No.
And now that you are in a different country with her only, you realize that was the case.
There was, I think the part of her moving away for so many years and only seeing her like once a year, opened up this opportunity, I guess, to have secrets. And ever since, I have not been able to close it. And I have way too many secrets, with
Okay,
her, including my partner.
I'm confused.
Okay.
What you just said. Did I miss something? Did you say you were away from her? She moved away for
Yeah,
a
you
year?
said something about a year for a year.
For a
Wait,
year?
was your mom already living
Before
in
she
England?
moved with her mother to England, her mother already was living in England.
Yeah, so I would only see her
Oh.
like
So you would
once or
only
twice
see
a
her
year.
once or twice a year,
Occasionally.
and then she brought you to England, but you didn't even realize you were being taken away from your family till you got to the airport?
Yeah, I didn't realize what a life-changing experience that was gonna be. I've always wanted to live Cuba, that was for sure. Because when she told me, she gave me the option when she saw me like that. She was like, do you wanna stay with your dad? I said, hell no, I don't wanna go. But once I got there, I couldn't breathe. And I think I mentioned this before, like, I guess my own body was telling me, you wanna go back. Because I told her, I can't breathe, I need to go back.
What part of the lung, what part does the lung represent? And what chakra, what need, and what's behind the organ of lungs? Life, breath, the mother, fourth chakra connection. That's why. But it's interesting because she said that what she didn't like about the mom was the secrets. The mom was lying to her face. You keep secrets from yourself. You lie to yourself. You hide things. That's what keeps the connection from you to you.
Does your family know about your significant other?
My grandparents and my cousin, but
So,
not mine.
not your parents?
Why?
Even though since we started like the relationship itself, he's been, okay, I can't wait to meet your parents, let me meet your parents, and I'm like, no. And I guess, cause my biggest thing is that I feel like my mom would fuck it up. And why? Because so far, this is the longest relationship I've ever had, but my mom doesn't know about it. But wait, every other relationship that I've ever had, and my mom knows about it, it just ends super fast. I wonder what could it be? Her fucking comments and always her opinions, which are never opinions. They're like, you should do this, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. So that's why I don't tell her shit, because she just judges me. Like when I tell her something, I'm going in front of the judge. Hi, judge. So I plead guilty to doing this, and loving this person, and then she starts coming up with all this stuff. Like when I mentioned, I dated Babalao, which is the whole completely opposite to Jehovah's Witnesses, right? When they found out, our relationship after that lasted like 2 weeks. Between my dad saying, well, if you want to be with him, you're going to have to move out because, you know, I don't want you here, like, which never happened. He was just jealous. That was like my second boyfriend, so. So he wasn't used to seeing me with a boyfriend. And my mom was like, oh my God, that kid is the devil. Look at him. He has one tattoo. He's the devil. He does brujeria. Oh my God. You're going to get in trouble because he's going to put brujeria on you. I'm like, chill, woman. Like, we're literally just met. He's super nice. And, you know, he treats me right. He doesn't even talk about brujeria with me because he knows that we don't believe in that. So what's the problem? And so after that, it was like 2 weeks and we broke up.
Is it possible to have a deep, long-lasting connection with somebody if they're secrets?
It shouldn't be,
Shouldn't?
Shouldn't.
Where's the judgment? Is there any situation that you have a connection with someone, but there's a secret?
There's always gonna be that.
You might be judging yourself a little too harsh. Take it from somebody who's like a ridiculously open book. Crazy. Because oftentimes, the good girl complex is linked to that. I should be an open book. Nothing that I say or do is anything that I shouldn't be able to share with someone because there's nothing for me to hide. And just because you're scrupulous, there's a saying in the Bible, don't give your pearls to the swine. And I used to tell this to my daughter all the time. Giving your pearls to swine, your pearls are your prized possessions. They're your inner jewel. Don't give it to cualquiera, don't give it to whomever. And the other day, talking to my daughter, and she's like, you used to tell me all the time to not give my pearls, but you give your pearls. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. I can teach it, doesn't mean I follow it. And what's the saying? If you can't do, teach.
Do what they say, all they
So,
do.
yeah.
Do it.
So there's a good girl here that should be an open book, that keeps secrets because your parents are meddling, you don't have this connection with your mother, you don't forgive yourself for not having a connection with your mother, even though your mother's a whack job, just like Paula, just like Marcia. This
Oh
whole
my
group,
gosh,
we all got the same prototype.
yeah.
Look, I love my mother. I didn't have a connection with my mother. And my mother was at my house for a whole week. A whole week. Yesterday I was like, please leave. I need to be alone with my daughter. I love my mother. I could not make it about her. It needed to be about me, the child, which is what I wanted to talk to you about. It's about you, the child, that never got her need met. But you're still trying to find acceptance and love and connection with someone you didn't have it. Because socially acceptable mothers and daughters should be like this. In some cases they are, in some they're not. My daughter hated me for 15 years. And she will come in here, and she has been in here, and will say it. I hated her. And now my daughter and I are like this. Because of a lot of pain, and a lot of work, and a lot of looking at deep-seated things.
And
You're
no,
still
no
judging
secrets.
yourself because you don't have this connection with your mother, someone who hasn't been very nice to you, someone who meddles in your relationships and can destroy them with a few words. It is okay to keep those secrets. It's absolutely okay. We have a gift for you that Mr. Pachi and I bought you because we've palpated this. We picked up on this very early on when you joined the class with a story that you shared. It's okay to have a connection with me, who you just met 2 months ago, and not your mother. It's okay. And yesterday I went to therapy, because yesterday I had an extremely bad day, and I said this to my therapist, who's across the hall. And I said, I asked my mom to leave, because after I left the doctor, I still have these 2 drains left. She said, I want to stay till Friday, and I said, please don't. I love you, but please don't. And that's okay.
Oh, you guys.
We thought you should have this.
Yeah.
Thank
every little girl needs a pink stroller that just doesn't have to share with anybody.
You do whatever you want with that stroller.
Yep, you have a kinky afternoon with your boyfriend, or buy yourself a doll, or vomit, throw it
Whatever
away,
you want.
whatever you want.
If you catch a